to you, but I'll be giving just about yesterday's class. Okay, so we'll be starting, and
So can you just give me a gist of what you took yesterday, sir?
yeah, of course, man, I'll be giving right.
Because I wasn't there yesterday.
Okay, no problem. So in yesterday's lecture, we have started with the Newton Raphson method. So this method is more or less similar to that of your Gauss-Seidel method, but the advantage is that the convergence or the calculation duration is very minimum when compared to your Gauss-Seidel method, as well as the accuracy is very much high when compared to your Gauss-Seidel method. So hence we are moving forward towards a Newton-Raphson method. So in the Newton-Raphson method, first we have started with this power system network. So that is, if it is for n or n buses in the sense. So how your what you can say, how your system, that is how the current flow in the initial stage we have started. Then we move towards your apparent power. So we have found your apparent power, and from the apparent power we have calculated towards your what you can say, uh, we move towards your real and reactive power. From the apparent power equation, we separated your real and reactive power equation into two separate entities. And after that, what we did is we expanded those things in the Taylor series, and we arrived at the load flow equation. So this is the load flow equation del P by del Q, and we got the Jacobian matrix, and you have to solve this equation to get the solution. So in the Gauss-Seidel method, what we have did was we was solving your voltage equation through iteration methodology. So basically, we ended up to single iteration. So can also move towards more than single iteration to get a very accurate answer. And there we ended up with your voltage equation. And over here, the main equation to be solved is this equation. This is the main equation that we have to solve. Okay, so this is the main equation that we have to solve now to find your uh, load flow using your Newton-Raphson method. Okay, and now moving on. So next we have defined about the elements in your Jacobian matrix. J1, J2, J3, J4 we have defined it. And it is necessary to find your J1, J2, J3, J4, and you have to substitute in this uh, matrix equation. And over here, how it goes means you will be finding initially you will be finding del P, del Q. Okay, you'll be finding these two things. After that, with respect to that, you'll be finding J1, J2, J3, J4 from your Jacobian matrix formula. Okay, using this, it is need to find a del P and del Q. Okay, so in yesterday's class, we have seen how to find your Jacobian matrix. So your Jacobian matrix generally involves two elements, diagonal element and your off diagonal element. So with respect to that, we have seen, so we have found your J1, J2, and then we have moved towards your J3, and finally we have ended up in your J4. Okay, so this is what we have seen up to yesterday. So after this, you need to know about after this. There's just only two steps. With that, we'll be completing this Newton-Raphson algorithm, and after that, we'll be moving towards your step-by-step method to solve your Newton-Raphson method. Okay. So the thing is that over here we have found up to this. So after this, what you have to do is So wait a minute, I'll deal. Yeah. So after this, you have to get with respect to the del pi. Okay, so del pi. So this will be your specified value. Okay, and your del qi of k you have to find, and to be qi the specified minus qi of the k. Okay, so over here, this is your scheduled value, and this is your calculated value. Okay, this is your calculated, and this is your scheduled value, and this del pi and del qi, okay, are the difference between your scheduled, difference between the scheduled and calculated values. Okay, scheduled and calculated values, it is over. And after this, uh, these two are known as, these two parameters are known as power residuals. Okay, and from this you can estimate your V and del. Okay, from this we can estimate your V and del such that your del I k plus 1. So this is the needed value, will be equal to del I k plus del of del I k. Okay, and overhead will be Vi k plus 1, and it will be equal to Vi of k plus del Vi of k. Okay, so based upon your value of k, that is based upon the convergence value, that is your epsilon. Based upon this value, what happens, your iterations increases. Okay, so you just know up to this. Okay, for for your Newton Raphson methodology, equation is a very important equation. From this equation, you have to find del and del v, and over here you have to determine your Jacobian matrix. So these are the formula for finding a Jacobian matrix, and from the Jacobian matrix, after finding a Jacobian matrix, you have to find your real and reactive power. So after the real and reactive power change, that is power residuals. After finding this power residuals, you have to substitute this thing in your load flow matrix, what we have seen before, and you will be arriving at your solution for your del and v. Okay, and with that you have to iterate. with that you have to iterate using these two equations. Okay, so now we will be seeing the step-by-step procedure. Okay, so I'll be signing off with this notebook. Okay, I'll be going towards Jamboard itself because Jamboard seems to be more user friendly than OneNote. Okay, so we are back to your Jamboard. Okay, so Jamboard is somewhat more user friendly compared to the OneNote. Okay. So we'll be seeing it. Okay, so the procedure involves first will be seeing with respect to your load bus. So load bus in the sense your PQ bus. Okay. So for load bus, what will be given? So for a load bus, generally your P will be specified. So your I, okay, PI is specified, and your QI will be specified. Okay. So just a minute. I will find the problem. Yeah. Okay. So apart from this, your voltage variables, you have to make it equal to slack bus. Initially, these two will be specified. So, the second thing is that you have to find some common thing. So your voltage magnitude and phase angles will be set equal to your slack bus value. Okay. So this is what we'll be doing in your Gauss seeder also. Okay. Thanks, I'm having some problem. Okay, I'll be just uh, sharing some other thing. Okay, and I'll be explaining. So okay, can you just see? You just make it clear. So at the initial stage, what you'll be doing is that you will be for finding the load bus, your P and Q value will be specified. Okay, basically this you know because for a load bus P and Q will be specified, and it is you have to find your V and your del, the voltage angle you have to find. Okay, after that your phase angles will be set to equal to a slack bus. Okay, so that's what they'll be calling it as maintaining flat voltage profile. So while dealing with the Gauss seidel problem itself, we have seen this. That is, you have to maintain flat voltage profile, and this for maintaining such kind of flat voltage profile, what you'll be doing is you will be taking the value of the slack bus as the reference, and after that, what you'll be doing is that you will be initializing all the other voltage bus voltage to be equal to 1. Okay, so that implies you are maintaining a flat voltage profile. Okay, so after that, for voltage regulated buses, okay, so uh, voltage regulated buses in the sense we are speaking about a PV bus. We are speaking about a PV bus. And for a PV bus, what you will be generally doing, you will be checking for your Q limit, right? So in the PV bus, your P value and V value will be specified, and the same thing, the phase angle will be set the same as that the value of your slack bus. Okay, the phase angle will be set the same value as that of your slack bus. So while we have dealt with the PV problem in your Gauss seidel, we have faced same situation. And next, moving to the second point for the load bus. Okay, for the load bus, you have to calculate your PIK and QIK. So this PIK and QIK, how we will be calculating is from the formula what we have seen. So in the initial condition of the NR derivation, I have shown you a formula. Okay, so the formula is wait, I'll be. So this formula. So this formula. So with the help of this formula, you will have to find your PIK and QIK. Okay, with this formula, you have to find your PIK and then your QIK value. Okay. So after this, finding this PIK and QIK, what you have to do is you have to calculate the value of del PIK and del QIK. Okay, while dealing with the problem, it will be very easy. So this is for your load bus. And with respect to your voltage controlled PV bus, you have to calculate the value of Pi of k and del Pi of k. Okay. So after finding this, you have to take into account your elements of your Jacobian matrix. You have to find J1, J2, J3, and J4. Okay, using the formula what you have already seen. So with this, we have seen with respect to your diagonal elements and off diagonal elements we have seen. So you have to calculate your diagonal elements and off diagonal elements. So after this, you have to solve the equation. You have to solve the equation. So how I will be solving when dealing the problem will be say I will be telling, and after solving you'll be getting the new new value of your voltage and the phase angle. Okay, so new value of your voltage and the phase angle will be getting, and this iteration process up to which step you have to carry out means until your del PIK, that is your bus power, that is the power residues we have seen, right? The power residues must be within the value of your tolerance. Okay, that is your epsilon value. If it is within the value of the epsilon value, then you can stop the procedure and you can conclude that the value of your voltage and phase angle what you have arrived is the best solution you can just arrive. Okay. Next we'll be moving to the flow chart. And first you will be initially reading the data from your table, and afterwards you have to form Y bus. So formation of Y bus is mandatory for both Gauss Seidel as well as your NR method. Okay. So after this, what you'll be doing, you have to maintain your flat voltage profile, and you'll be maintaining the flat voltage profile by selecting your slack bus. After selection of your slack bus, you will be maintaining all the other buses voltage to be equal to 1, and the phase and the voltage angle will be maintaining it to be 0. Okay, and then you will be setting your iteration count. After that, you will be starting with the bus count. Bus count you will be starting with 1, but if it is a slack bus means you'll be just skipping out. You'll be just skipping out to the next node. Okay, we'll be just skipping out to the next node. Otherwise, if it is not a slack bus, if this is not a slack bus means what you will be doing is you will be calculating the current for that particular bus. Okay, if I is if the selected bus is not slack bus means you'll be selecting for you'll be first initially finding out your current. Okay, so this is what we have seen in the initial step of your Newton-Raphson methodology. We have moved to with respect to your current. So after finding the current, you will be what you'll be checking is whether the node whether the bus given is a PV bus or PV bus. So if it is a load bus, in the sense what happens for the load bus, your P and Q value will be given, and you have to find the voltage and del. And for a PV bus, P and B will be given. You have to find your reactive power and your del value. Okay, so that's what over here they are saying. So for a PV bus, you have to compute your value of your del and Q, and for PQ, you have to compute V and del. Okay, so after getting this, you have to check for your Q limit for your PV bus. Okay, for your PV bus, you have to check for your Q limit, and if the Q limit is satisfied, okay, if the Q limit is satisfied, what happens? So this entire part corresponds to your Q limit. Okay, the maximum and minimum range. This represents your maximum and minimum range. So the same thing what we have seen with respect to the Gauss seidel you have to do. If the Q limit is satisfied, then no problem. Then if it is not satisfied, means you have to set the value of your Q. Okay, so del Q you have to set. In which case, if it is not satisfied means, if it is satisfied, in the sense you have to move towards your voltage equation, del V. Okay, so after this, it goes upwards. Okay, so this goes upwards. Okay, so over here, after finding the V, you have to check whether the bus is the last bus. Okay, in case of particular, for a 3 bus system, first we will be starting with your second bus, then you'll be going towards your third bus. So like that, you have to check still any kind of buses there or not. Okay, if it is not the last bus means, okay, you have to again, what you have to do, you have to move towards the next bus count you have to increase, and you have to repeat the steps again. So in repeating the steps again, what happens, you will be able to get the equation of del V2. From V2 to V3 you will be getting, that is the voltage for the next bus you will be getting. Okay, so for the voltage for the next bus you will be arriving. I hope you are able to understand. And whether if it is not if it is the last bus, in the sense you'll be moving towards finding your power residues. Okay, you have found your del V. Next you have to find your del P and del QR. So those are your power residues. So those things you will be finding, and then the tolerance you have to check. So this tolerance value must be less. What you have to say? This tolerance value is epsilon. This epsilon must be greater than that of your del PI and del QI. So this del PI and del Q you'll be finding, and then you have to check with the tolerance value. Okay, if the tolerance is satisfied, means, then you can conclude it. You can conclude that the voltage value what we have found, and then the power losses del P del Q what we are getting out are the optimal best solution, you can conclude. Otherwise, what you have to do is that if this del P del Q is not satisfied, then only you have to move towards your Jacobian matrix. Okay, so after coming through much of steps only, you will be forming your Jacobian matrix. But at the initial stage itself, this convergence is very difficult. Okay, so it is what the value what you'll be getting is surely will be greater than your tolerance value, because your tolerance value will be very less. It will be in the terms of 0.00 something. Okay, so to get minimum than your tolerance value, you have to go for the Jacobian matrix. So after formation of a Jacobian matrix, you have to compute the value of your so here they have given del E and del F. So this del E and del F are nothing but your voltage and your del value. Okay, this del E and del F are nothing but your voltage and your del value. So So this voltage and del value, how we can get means from the equation what I have told. From this equation. Wait, I'll be switching over. Okay. So from this equation, uh, this is what here they are representing. So this is represents your del f. Okay, this represents your del f, and this represents your del e. Okay, so in the rotation over there they have given like that. Okay, so don't get confused. So if you are finding your del e and del f, how you can find? For that you need your Jacobian matrix. So J1, J2, J3, J4 you have to find. After finding, you have to apply. You might have already found out del P and del Q. Okay. So after that, you have to substitute, and then you have to find these values. These two values you have to find. Okay. And okay. So after finding that, you have to iterate your count. The iteration count you have to increase. So after increasing the iteration count, you have to again come through your first bus onwards. That is, again you have to find the voltage equation for all the buses. After finding the voltage equation, you have to again find the value of your del P and del Q. Okay, again you have to find the value of your del P and del Q, and again you have to check the limit. If the limit is satisfied, then you can just close the problem. Otherwise, again for the particular thing, you have to assemble your Jacobian matrix again. Okay, and then the iteration count also will be increasing, and hence this is like a loop. This is like a loop until your tolerance value is satisfied. Okay, so this is the main important flowchart for your NR method, and over here only the iterations will be increasing very large for your complex power system network, and hence for the load flow problem and all we will be making use of your computers, and they will be coding this entire flowchart in terms of the program coding. Okay, and they will be solving it. So for that only we'll be making use of many softwares like MATLAB, MI Power System, like that. Many softwares will be using. So in that you can set this tolerance level. So this tolerance level is nothing but depends upon your mainly this is the level which determines your stability of the system. Okay, this tolerance level will be mainly depending upon the stability of the system. So based upon this tolerance only, we'll be checking. It is a checkpoint for your real power and your reactive power. Okay. So any doubt in this flowchart, you can just ask. So any doubt in this flowchart, you can ask. So based upon this flowchart only, you will be finding your Newton-Raphson method. So I hope you might have understood about why we are iterating. Okay, so what is the purpose of iterating, and what happens if they are giving a PV bus and the PQ bus? Okay, so for the PV bus, what we have did with respect to your Gauss-Seidel algorithm, the same thing only you have to do over here also. Okay, so any you just see through this entire flowchart for 5 minutes, and any doubts you can just ask.
So, if before the iteration itself, if the max power matches the tolerance value, means we don't need to form the Jacobian matrix, sir.
Yeah, it is not necessary. Okay, you no need to form it. Okay, so if you are just seeing more up to this without formation of Jacobian matrix means the problem will be more or less similar to your Gauss-Seidel only. Okay, but the voltage equation just varies. The voltage equation over here and the voltage equation over Gauss-Seidel varies. But if the tolerance is satisfied, means you can just move out and you can close the problem with the values what you have got. Otherwise, you have to assemble the Jacobian matrix again, and you have to iterate, increase the iteration count, and again you have to do from the beginning. Okay. So if the problem is going with respect to 2 to 3 or 4 iterations, means what you have to do is you must be very fast in processing with your calculator. Okay. So the equation you can just have it in your calculator, and by just changing the values you can arrive at the solution. Okay. So any other doubts you can just ask. So this is an important flow chart. Sometimes, like your cat one, they might be even also asking about flow chart for NR methodology alone. That's a big question. Okay, the possibility is that. So in most cases, Gauss-Seidel problem is will be asked frequently, and for NR and the next method, fast decouple, they will be sticking with your algorithm and flow chart. Okay. So any question with respect to this flowchart, you can just ask. So what we have seen with yesterday is the basics. So if you're understanding those basics only, you can easily go through this flowchart. Any doubt with flowchart, you can just ask. So everybody is clear with the flowchart. Okay, because tomorrow we'll be starting with the problem, and I will be covering limited problems in your NR and fast decouple, because more importance must be given towards your Gauss seeder. And if time permits, I'll be moving again revisiting Gauss seeder with respect to 2 to 3 iteration. Okay. If time permits, I'll be covering that problem also. Okay. But for Gauss seeder, what you have to see is the methodology is the same. The iteration count increases means if they're asking to find, in most cases problems they'll be giving. So if they're asking to find for 2 to 3 iteration means you have to increase your bus count, what you had iteration count, and you have to again find the voltage and the PQ values. Again, you have to find it. Okay.
Sir, in this one, they are given is I last node and they are given advanced bus node. What's the depicts there?
So that represents nothing but the advanced bus is nothing but, for example, we started with the bus 2 you can take. Okay. So at this point, we have started with their bus 2. Okay. At this point, we have started with their bus 2, and we have checked that whether the bus 2 is a PV or PQ bus we have checked. So if it is a PQ bus, if it is a PQ bus, so we might have calculated your voltage and del. So this values P and Q will be given, and you might be moving towards this. So second bus is over, but the system is a 3 bus system. Okay, so the system is a 3 bus system. So first bus we are selecting it as a slack bus, and second bus we have already found it. PQ bus we have found it. So next you will be moving towards your third bus in the system. So the third bus you have to increase the bus count, right? So this is what they are saying. Uh, your second bus is, if your second bus is not your last bus means, you can you have to increase your bus count to third bus, and they have to find your find whether it is again it is a PV or a PQ bus, and then you have to find for your power. Okay, whether it is in the limit or not, residue powers you have to find. Okay, so it is an increase in your bus count. So this increase in bus count also we have covered in your Gauss-Seidel algorithm, right? So we might have a move towards your second bus. So after second bus, you will be skipping to your third bus. So that's the methodology over there.
Okay, sir.
Any other queries you can ask? So any other students also can interact. Always a single person is interacting. Single or 2 to 3 persons only interacting. Okay, I hope you understood the concept. Okay. So tomorrow we'll be seeing with respect to the problem. Okay, I hope we can finish off this session. So any other doubts? Okay, we can finish off the session. If you're having any doubts means